Are you in need of a flexible and reliable staffing solution for your hospitality business? Look no further, because I want to tell you about Winolo. That's Winolo, Winolo. Winolo stands for Work Now Locally. Winolo enables businesses to find quality and reliable workers for on-demand, seasonal, short-term, and long-term work. Ditch the bulky paperwork and interview process and use Winolo to find quality workers for your hospitality needs fast and get work done even faster. So take your hospitality business to new heights with Winolo and join the industry leaders who have experienced the power of on-demand staffing. With flexible workers and no hidden platform fees, you can save on operating costs and maximize earnings with ease. Winolo is available in over 100 markets, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, New York, and Seattle. Get workers who are ready to work and spend less time finding them with Winolo.
We are very excited for our guest today joining us here at the Prosper Forum live on our podcast on the road. We have Mr. Scott Boatwright, COO of Chipotle Shots. We're going big time now.
I got to tell you, Jimmy, every podcast we do, we get better and better guests.
Better looking guests too.
Well, that is our criteria now that we have a benchmark.
Yes.
You have to be better looking than us.
Low bar.
That's hard.
Bar.
Yeah, very low. I like to set a low bar, you know. Listen, I got to tell you, we are so excited to have Scott here. We've been trying to get him on the podcast for 3-4 years. Even before we had a podcast, we were trying to get him on the podcast.
Your Costanza, eventually wore him down.
No,
Costanza.
I'm telling you, he was at Arby's. We were trying to get him on the podcast. And I know we were before Arby's, but we were trying to get him on the podcast. But I got to tell you, we're super excited. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your background. Tell us about what's going on at Chipotle. Tell us everything.
This is Shatsy's Fraser Crane moment.
I saw that.
Shatsy's listening.
Tell us everything. 150 an hour.
Shats and Jimmy, thank
if
you
you're
very
happy
much
with
for
my
having
services.
me on.
150 an hour.
Of course.
And I'm fully insured.
You guys are pretty good-looking dudes, by the way. I just want to be clear.
Stop it. Cut it out.
Thank you. What'd you say?
So I'm moving on. Been in this industry, probably 30 years. Started out as a dishwasher. Like many of the folks
We've had a lot of dishwashers on today's episode.
My high school career was football, washing dishes at a steakhouse locally where I grew up. Kind of fell in love in the industry and been in it ever since. So I started out really in fine dining in hotels and then migrated over to quick service restaurants.
I got to tell you, no one pours a glass of wine like Mr. Scott Boatwright. I had dinner last night with him, and I said, "Can I have some more wine?" He came over. The napkin was wrapped around.
Not his first rodeo.
No.
That's a service.
Got a little on my shirt. I didn't want to say anything.
Service mentality, right?
Yeah, no, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So anyway, been in the restaurant industry my whole life, and really started out as a team member in a restaurant and worked my way through the various ranks in hospitality, and had an opportunity to join Chipotle back in 2017, the behest of the then founder, CEO, and chairman Steve Ells.
Wow.
And it's been a really, really cool journey.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. Look, I want to jump into some hot topics. We're talking like on the front burner. There's my hospitality lingo. But the hot topic that we want to talk with you about is automation.
They're leading the charge, Jimmy.
Chipotle has been on the forefront and a leader in it. I love what you guys did with Miso Robotics and the Chippy. They're Buck Jordan, friends of ours, and his company, what you're doing. But you guys are kind of taking this up to a whole different level with the Cobotic, the collaborative robot prototype called the Avocado. It cuts, it cores,
it's like an
it
avocado.
Peels.
Yeah.
I imagine it's a tremendous value proposition to your signature guacamole. So I think it's a really cool topic. Automation's a big deal. Can you share a little bit more with our listeners on kind of how this program, but generally automation, and you're leaning into it, is working out for you and your partners?
And is it true you came up with the name Avocado? Is that true?
That is not true. And you can
Would've been breaking
imagine
news.
that was someone
Can
from
I
marketing.
go with that? That Scott came up with Avocado.
We're gonna make that. We're gonna make up that rumor here today.
Yes.
Avocado. Great name. Great idea. How'd you come up with it?
So I take you back a little bit. You think about the strategy behind robotics in general was really birthed out of this idea to remove the routine, mundane tasks of everyday restaurant operations that people just don't want to do, quite frankly, and then redeploy that labor to more consumer-facing, guest-facing activity that's more engaging and more rewarding for the team member.
Makes perfect sense.
And so think, dishwashing, think coring and cutting avocados, think
slicing tomatoes,
slicing tomatoes,
whatever, yeah.
all the things that we want to continue to maintain our food with integrity principles and do in-house, right? So we bring that Chipotle experience together every single day leveraging classic culinary techniques. It's true and core to who we are, and we have to maintain that in every restaurant. At least while I'm at the helm, gentlemen. We won't be shipping that stuff out to commissary.
Yep.
We do it in-house because we know fresh tastes better.
100%. That's a core thesis for you guys, right?
It really is. It really is, Schatz, and it has been since inception in 1993. So the avocado, we let me back up just another step.
Sure.
We decided to create a fund that would lean into robotics to drive efficiencies in restaurant. Again, not to reduce labor costs, but to redeploy labor to more meaningful tasks.
That's the key. Because people sometimes say, "Oh, you're firing everybody."
You're trying to
that's
take the
true.
people out of the equation.
No, that's
and you just can't.
Nope,
right?
Absolutely.
Restaurants is about a human experience, whether that's behind the restaurant counter or in front of the counter. It's about the human experience, and that's where we're leaning in. So Avocado came to us. We partnered with this group out of Southern California and said, "Hey, listen, we want a machine that can cut, core," and it was an idea that we came up with just as a group. And this team at Miso Robotics brought it to life for us. And so
unbelievable.
Super exciting.
Those guys are
project.
smart.
Yes. No, I would imagine the labor saver, time saver, safety saver. I mean, I'm sure is a factor. I've had my own issues. By the way, when I was a bartender, you know my least favorite drink when someone ordered?
What?
Mojito.
Oh, you gotta muddle that mint.
It takes too long.
It takes too long. I gotta move.
He's a one liquid guy. It's a McCown on the rocks.
Yes. No,
I'm not Johnny Black on the rocks.
My mixer is called ice. There we go.
I like that. When I order a Negroni, he shames me.
There you go.
He's like, you're killing the bartender. You're making him work so hard.
So to prepare a batch of guac today takes about 50 minutes from starting with a case of avocados, washing the avocados, getting them cut, cored, peeled, and then hand mashing, and then the maceration process with the onions, the cilantro, and the peppers. And so it takes a while.
Yeah.
This machine, we think, will save about 50% of that time.
Wow.
And then allow us, again, to redeploy that labor to more consumer-facing activity.
I mean, how many stores do you guys have?
We have 3,300 restaurants, Shatsy.
I apologize.
And that's an important note for me.
I apologize. I say stores. I say stores. That's an old line I use, stores.
Yeah,
My dad used to say stores. You know, I haven't gone to the store.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's
when
awesome.
you take that 50% savings and multiply that on scale, that's a lot
on a batch. We know much
and by the way,
guacamole they're making.
By the way, we do 5 to 8 batches per day per restaurant.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like $100,000 a year.
I'll take the number.
That's
right?
Easily
$100,000 a year.
I'll keep the numbers over here.
It's a few million dollars.
Listen, it's awesome. Second front burner question. I mean, you guys lead the charge about an innovation. I mean, you basically put the fast casual in fast casual. There was no such thing before you guys. It was quick serve.
Actually, Shats and I were literally talking about this week. Quick serve restaurants. There was no fast casual until because your kids believe that it's an upgrade to the type of experience you could get in a quick service environment, but it's fast casual because they just feel it's differentiated. And it all started with you guys.
It did. It truly all started with our founder, Steve Ells, back in 1993. He was at the Culinary Institute of America in San Francisco on his way to school every day as he learned to be a classically trained chef. He would pass by these Mission-style burrito shops in San Francisco and thought, what if I leverage classic culinary techniques and better ingredients to bring that same experience to life? And that was the idea behind Chipotle. And people loved it. Right from day one, and fandom grew very quickly. I mean, and the brand is what it is today.
I mean, how fast until he started it did McDonald's get involved?
Oh, gosh. McDonald's got involved around 20, 30 restaurants at the time.
I mean, so they saw something really early.
If you remember that time, around that same time in the early 2000s, McDonald's had made strategic investments in several different brands.
Right.
Chipotle was one of those. Donato's was another. And gosh, maybe Boston Market. I can't remember.
Was it Pret? No, it wasn't Pret a Munch.
It wasn't Pret at that time. But McDonald's had lost its way. And I believe Skinner was the CEO that came in and said, we need to jettison these other things that are distractions to our core business and get back to doing what we do well at McDonald's. Yep. I applaud him for his vision at that moment because it really put McDonald's back on its front foot. At that same time, they had gotten Chipotle up to about 500 restaurants and took it out to IPO.
Right.
And at that time, McDonald's moved away from the business. And so they took their money and ran.
Yeah, but I tell you, it all happens for a reason. I think it was good for everybody.
I think it was better for both businesses.
Correct. Yeah. Completely agree. And what McDonald's brought to Chipotle wasn't anything around innovation, culinary, or prototype. It was really around real estate selection and site development.
Oh, really?
And so that was experience that that Steve Ells and the team then really didn't have and really needed.
And McDonald's
as
really
a
knows a
core
little something
competency.
about real estate, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's without a doubt.
Listen, I want to go into our crystal ball moment. I'm going to ask you to put on your Kresker Miss Cleo hat, and you're going to be predicting the future, but I'm not taking you too far because this digital transformation and this kind of the criticality of automation is happening so fast. Just 2 years down the road, how do you think about what we're going to be talking about back here at Prosper, hopefully? Just 2 years, but hospitality and technology. What do you think what do you think the hot topic is going to be 2 years from now?
Oh gosh, I think robotics continues to play a huge role in today, and then what the future of the industry looks like. Again, and people will leverage it in different ways, whether that's labor reduction or redeployment of labor. But I think as you think about where we are today as a country, as it relates to labor utilization, in general, people are having fewer and fewer children. And if you think about that, that means fewer people are available that are coming into the restaurant space specifically. And then absent, which is, I know it's a polarizing topic, absent immigration reform, we are going to struggle having labor necessary to meet the needs of this industry and many other industries.
Right.
And if you think about immigrants have built this country from day one. And so I know it's a third rail in Washington today. Republicans and Democrats have to come together on the issue, solve the problem, and let's get back on our front foot as it relates to labor. All while there's a whole manufacturing renaissance that's going on in our country today. I don't know who's going to fill those jobs. And so I think there's going to be further effort and push into robotics to try to remove some of those tasks that people just can't find anyone to do, quite frankly. And so I think that's where the industry's going.
We've been talking about labor for as long as I can remember.
We have an aging population. We have, again, child reduction in terms of...
you only had one kid, Jimmy. You're killing us. You're killing the whole system. I had 3 kids.
I blew it. No, love you, kiddo. No, but I'm agreeing with you. Aging population, reduction in the customer, the guest, and the workforce. That's where the rubber's going to hit the road, and I agree with you on that.
It will, absolutely. And I think people will continue to lean into this digital ecosystem. I think other brands will get more sophisticated. They'll find a way to meet the consumer where they are. I always think there's an intrinsic value in people coming together and coalescing around a meal. I don't think that ever goes away. But people are in a fast-paced environment. They want the meal to meet them where they are.
Yeah, I love it.
Digital will continue to be a part of our ecosystem.
All right, we're going into a great segment right now.
Sure, because it's chassis.
Food Service Feud. Okay, we asked over 100 billion people on LinkedIn
100
a question. Okay,
what the best burrito in the world is?
Well, that one you missed. That one. That was somebody else. But we did ask that one.
By the way,
it was
you crushed.
You crushed.
Yes.
You crushed it. Okay, but not asked that. We asked another question.
There's no competition on the gold on that one.
Get your imaginary buzzer. Okay, right. And I'm going to read you the top 4 on the board. You got to guess which is number 1. Okay, from the 100 trillion people that we asked on LinkedIn. Okay, are you?
And you asked them which question?
Here it comes.
Yes. Favorite ice cream shop? Was it Cold Stone Creamery, Baskin Robbins, Carvel, Ben & Jerry's, or Dairy Queen? I threw that in for you, Jimmy.
I appreciate. I love the
I know you like Dairy Queen.
I'm gonna let my
or Friendlies.
Our friend gets to go first on the
You added Friendlies in the mix.
I just added it in there because
I
like
Let's
Friendlies.
go back to the top.
We said Cold Stone Creamery,
lovely,
Baskin
but
Robbins,
not number 1.
Carvel or Ben & Jerry's. What's number 1 from the 100 trillion people we asked?
Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins is not number 1. Jimmy, you can steal for the family and win big prizes.
Given how many people we asked, Carvel
is number 1. Carvel is number 1. Yes, Carvel. Baskin Robbins came in at number 4.
By the way,
Ben and Jerry's number 2, and then Cold Stone Creamery. But yeah, Carvel.
God bless them.
You know what? It's all New Yorkers.
Yeah. Also, everyone loves the what was the whale cake?
Oh, Fudgy the Whale.
Fudgy the Whale. Is
that the whale of a dad? On Father's Day,
yes.
Give your dad a Fudgy the Whale because he's a whale of a dad, right? All right,
that's fantastic.
Last thing, because Scott's got to go. He's got a big meeting. He's opening up the 3,647th store.
You're close.
He's going for the opening right
You're
now.
Close.
All right, listen. Brandon Quickfire, 5 lightning round questions. Are you ready?
Go.
Taco or burrito?
Burrito.
Favorite cuisine?
Mexican. No joke. That's the reason.
Like every question's going to go to
the reason I can't get away from this brand. Food is unbelievable.
Yes. Favorite food city in the world? Watch what he says.
Mexico City in the world?
Mexico City.
Food city in the world. I gotta go New York.
Favorite place to travel?
Florence, Italy.
Nice.
Oh, Jimmy.
It's good. Love Italy.
I agree. If you were to challenge Jimmy Rye to the classic poolside game of Marco
Polo,
who would you have better odds of beating?
Definitely Jimmy.
Why? Why Jimmy?
Because Jimmy's going to be loud in the water.
That's true. I am loud in the water.
You are loud.
I am loud. By the way,
You don't even have to say it. He can hear you breathing. By the way, hear you breathing.
not only do I respect that answer, I agree with that answer.
I mean, it's like I hear. What is that? Jimmy breathing.
I have to agree with that answer. Listen, we're going to let you go in a moment, but just really quick, we love bantering and talking to industry leaders and experts. Sometimes our guests have a question for us. And with that in mind, I like to say nothing's off the table. If there's any question you would like us, we're happy to play. The microphone, as I like to say, is yours.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Individually, answer
Ooh.
the question.
Yes, sir.
Favorite New York sports team?
I mean, it's sad for me, but it's easy. The Jets for me.
The Jets.
Dude, I'm sorry. I said it was sad. I said it was sad. But hey, Hard Knocks. Come on, man.
You never know. Favre. Oh my God.
That's a Freudian slip right there, man. That's a Freudian slip right there.
Favre.
We get all of our
Favre ran the
quarterbacks.
same path.
We go to Green Bay. That's where we get all our quarterbacks from the Green Bay. That's what we do.
This is a foolproof plan. Just take a veteran quarterback from Green Bay. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Okay.
Everything.
Out of respect for so many people,
Jimmy,
the
go.
Rangers, the New York Rangers.
No, that's an answer I can
The
appreciate.
You
Rangers.
can't appreciate
Attaboy.
the Jets.
He could have ran into the easy stuff. Yankees.
Yankees.
The blue
I
shirts.
thought you were going to go
Yeah.
Yankees.
The blue shirts. There is
Attaboy.
no sport I feel better live. Again, a lot of great sports. Love watching, love playing. No sport
Hockey's-
better live.
hockey's great live.
On TV, the puck just moves too fast.
Remember when Fox had the blue dot?
Yeah, that wasn't so good. But anyway,
Good
the
for you,
Rangers.
Jimmy.
Thank you so
Attaboy.
much.
All right.
Thanks,
not
guys.
Good, not good
We
for
appreciate you, Scott. Thank you
Yeah.
for doing this with
Thanks,
us.
man.
And enjoy the rest of your show, my friend.
Of course.
Thank you.
We'll see
Thank
you
you
later, man.
guys. Thanks
Thanks,
for having me on.